Only a handful of people in that arena knew the truth about Bruce Lee. The karate champion standing on the stage didn't. The tournament officials had no idea. The judges were completely unaware. And the 500 spectators watching the International Karate Championship finals saw nothing more than a quiet Chinese man sitting silently in row 14. That silence was about to be broken. Within the next 8 minutes, the undefeated karate champion was about to face the most humbling moment of his entire career, and everyone inside that arena would witness something they would remember for the rest of their lives. This is what actually unfolded on March 20th, 1969. This is the moment no one who was there ever forgot. Long Beach, California. Long Beach Arena, March 20th, 1969. Long Beach, California. Long Beach Arena, March 20th, 1969. Saturday afternoon, 3:45 p.m. The International Karate Championships are entering their final hours, and the energy inside the Long Beach Arena is unmistakable. This is not a local tournament. This is not a regional exhibition. This is the biggest martial arts event in America, the one that decides reputations, careers, and legacies. 500 spectators fill the arena seats, every row occupied. Martial artists, instructors, dojo owners, students, families, everyone who matters in American karate is here. Some have traveled across the country, others have flown in from overseas. 12 countries are represented. 20 different martial arts systems converge under one roof. Shotokan, Goju Ryu, Wado Ryu, Kyokushin, Tangsu Do, Kenpo. Each style brings its own philosophy, its own techniques, its own pride. Uniforms differ slightly from section to section. Belts of every rank are visible in the crowd. White belts sit nervously beside seasoned black belts. Masters observe quietly, arms crossed, eyes sharp. Students whisper excitedly, replaying matches they've already seen. The atmosphere is electric. Sharp ki shouts echo across the arena as competitors warm up behind the stage. Judges move with practiced precision, clipboards in hand. Commands are called out in Japanese. The smell of sweat, liniment, and canvas mats hangs in the air. This is not entertainment. This is serious martial arts. For many in attendance, this tournament represents the highest standard of karate. It is often referred to as the Olympics of karate, not officially but in spirit. Winning here means more than a trophy. It means validation. It means authority. The heavyweight division finals are moments away. On stage, assistants adjust the mats, ensuring every inch is secure. The lighting is bright, focused, unforgiving. Every movement will be visible. Every mistake will be noticed. The crowd settles, anticipation building as conversations soften into murmurs. This audience understands what they're about to witness. Heavyweight finals are not fast-point sparring. They are power, discipline, and control. The fighters here are not experimenting. They are executing systems refined over decades. Behind the stage, competitors prepare in silence. Some stretch methodically, others pace. Breathing slows. Focus narrows. This is the moment everything has been leading toward. No one in the arena is thinking about surprises. No one expects disruption. The program is running exactly as planned. The finals will proceed. A champion will be crowned. Applause will follow. The tournament will conclude, and stories will be told about excellent technique, strong spirit, and decisive victories. In the audience, spectators scan the stage, waiting for the champion to appear. Conversations revolve around records, past victories, and predictions. Most assume they already know how this will end. The favorite is clear. The outcome seems inevitable. In row 14, among the hundreds of faces, a small man sits quietly. He isn't wearing a uniform, no belt marks his rank, no patches announce his achievements. He doesn't stand out, he doesn't speak, he simply watches. Around him, no one pays attention. The judges finalize their positions. The tournament organizers prepare the microphone for the customary pre-final address. The crowd leans forward in their seats. Everything is set. The arena is moments away from witnessing the final chapter of the International Karate Championships of 1969. No one yet realizes that history is about to take a very different turn. On the stage, warming up beneath the bright arena lights, stands the man everyone expects to win, Michael the Destroyer Chen. That isn't his birth name. He was born with a traditional Chinese name, but early in his career he changed it. A more American sound, more marketable, easier to remember. In the competitive karate world of the 1960s, perception matters almost as much as performance. Michael is 28 years old, 6 feet 2 inches tall, 215 pounds of conditioned muscle. He has been training since the age of 6, 22 years of disciplined practice, thousands of hours in the dojo, countless repetitions of the same techniques refined again and again until they are automatic. He is a 4th-degree black belt in Shotokan karate. Not a paper rank, not ceremonial, earned through competition and dominance. For 5 consecutive years, Michael has been undefeated. 47 straight victories. No losses, no draws, no controversial decisions. He has won this very tournament 3 years in a row, each time more convincingly than the last. In the world of American karate, his name carries weight. As he moves across the mat, stretching and loosening his shoulders, the audience watches closely. Every motion is sharp. Every strike snaps through the air with precision. His punches crack like gunshots. His kicks are high, powerful, and controlled. Textbook Shotokan, deep stances, linear attacks, maximum power delivered through disciplined structure. This is karate the way it is meant to be practiced, the way it is taught in the best dojos across the country. Michael looks like a champion. He moves like a champion. And more importantly, he knows he is a champion. His confidence borders on arrogance. In truth, it crossed that line long ago. He carries himself as a man who has never been seriously challenged, a man accustomed to winning before the match even begins. The pristine white gi fits him perfectly. His black belt is tied with care, the ends even. Patches on his uniform display his dojo affiliation, his rank, his accomplishments. They are badges of authority. The audience is impressed. Some are intimidated, others are inspired. They are watching the standard. Michael throws a final combination of practice punches, each one precise, each one powerful. The air snaps with every strike. There is no wasted motion, no hesitation. This is a man who trusts his system completely. To many in the arena, the finals already feel decided. The tournament organizer steps forward and hands Michael the microphone. It is tradition. Before the heavyweight finals, the reigning champion addresses the crowd. A moment to speak, to inspire, to set the tone. Michael takes the microphone confidently. His voice fills the arena. Ladies and gentlemen, martial artists, fellow competitors, the crowd quiets immediately. I stand here today as your 3-time champion. 47 consecutive victories, 5 years undefeated. Applause follows. Respectful, expected. Michael lets it settle before continuing. He has their attention. He always does. I have faced every style presented in this tournament. I have defeated every challenge. And year after year I have proven that Shotokan karate stands above the rest. Some in the audience shift in their seats. That is a bold statement. Martial arts politics are delicate. Different styles, different philosophies, different national traditions. Claims of superiority are rarely made openly. But Michael does not hesitate. He believes every word. As he speaks, his confidence grows. The microphone amplifies not just his voice, but his certainty. And unknowingly, it carries him toward the biggest mistake of his career. Michael the Destroyer Chen holds the microphone firmly, his black belt gleaming under the bright lights. The audience is silent now, every eye fixed on him, every ear attuned to his voice. He knows he has their attention. He has earned it. And yet, in that moment, his ego begins to overreach. I have faced every style, he says, voice strong, commanding. I have proven Shotokan karate is superior. Japanese karate is the most effective fighting system in the world. A ripple of discomfort moves through the audience. Martial artists of other styles shift uneasily. A few mutter under their breath. Some are curious, others are offended. Declaring one system superior in such a mixed tournament is not just bold, It's provocative. Michael scans the crowd. His gaze is sharp, confident, unflinching. Then he speaks words that will change everything. "I want to address something that has been bothering me," he announces. His voice carries across the arena, crisp and unwavering. This recent trend of so-called kung fu, Chinese martial arts, these flowery movements, these flashy, unrealistic techniques, they are not real fighting. The audience tenses. Conversations stop mid-sentence. Some spectators lean forward, sensing the tension building. Michael is crossing a line that few champions dare to approach. "It is performance," he continues, "a dance, choreography for movies. It has no practical application in real combat. And today I challenge any kung fu practitioner, any Chinese martial artist, to come forward and prove me wrong. Show me that your art works against real karate, against me, here, now." Silence, absolute silence. The crowd stirs nervously. This is unprecedented. Champions rarely, if ever, issue public challenges to other styles. It is considered disrespectful, poor sportsmanship. Yet Michael does not hesitate. His ego drives him forward. He is certain no one will respond. He scans the audience, eyes narrowing. "So, any kung fu masters here? Any brave Chinese martial artists willing to test their art against a real champion?" The arena remains still. No one moves. Whispers flutter among the spectators. Some are unsure, hesitant. Others, like seasoned masters, recognize the danger of stepping forward. This is not a call for demonstration. It is a gauntlet thrown, an insult veiled as a challenge. Michael smiles. He believes victory is already his. All talk, no substance. That is what he assumes. Then, from row 14, a quiet, calm voice breaks the silence. Not loud, not demanding, but it carries with certainty and clarity that cuts through the arena like a blade. "I'll accept your challenge." Heads turn. The audience leans in. Michael freezes mid-sentence, staring toward the voice. The quiet man stands. Simple clothes. No uniform, no belt, black pants, black shirt. No indication of rank, nothing to suggest he is a competitor. Just a spectator. Michael squints, confused. The lights shine in his eyes, obscuring the man's face. "You do kung fu?" he asks, skepticism evident in every syllable. "I practice Chinese martial arts," the man replies evenly. "Wing Chun, and my own system, Jeet Kune Do." Michael frowns, unfamiliar with the name. Wing Chun he knows vaguely. Jeet Kune Do is unknown territory. Yet, in that calm, steady tone, the man makes his presence undeniable. "And your name?" Michael asks, still cautious. "Bruce Lee." The audience barely reacts, except for a handful, 12 people, the few who recognize the name. Among them, Dan Inosanto leans forward, whispering urgently, "You don't have to do this." Bruce simply shakes his head and keeps watching. The gauntlet has been accepted. The tournament organizers murmur among themselves. Ed Parker steps forward. "This isn't a registered competitor," he announces, "but if both parties agree, we can allow a demonstration. No judging, light contact." Michael exhales. "Fine," he says, masking uncertainty with confidence. "Let's show everyone what happens when kung fu meets karate." The stage is set. The confrontation, unplanned and unprecedented, is about to begin. Bruce Lee begins to make his way down from row 14. The spectators part instinctively, some craning their necks to catch a glimpse. Murmurs ripple through the crowd. "Is that from the Green Hornet? That's the kung fu guy, isn't it?" But most remain confused. To the majority, he looks like a quiet, ordinary man. Nothing about him suggests he could be a match for the undefeated champion on stage. He steps carefully between the rows, measured, calm. Each stride is deliberate but unassuming. His black pants and black shirt are plain, unadorned. No uniform, no patches, no belt, no display of rank, just a man moving with purpose. Danny Inosanto, sitting next to him, whispers urgently once more, "You really don't have to do this." Bruce shakes his head slightly, expression unreadable. "Answering the challenge," he says quietly. The crowd leans forward as Bruce climbs the few steps to the stage. Up close, some spectators recognize him from television. "That's Bruce Lee, Kato," whispers travel rapidly. Yet the majority of the arena still sees only a small, wiry man in plain clothing. Michael Chen towers over him, 7 inches taller, 75 pounds heavier. Dressed in his crisp white gi, a 4th-degree black belt around his waist, his presence dominates the mat. The contrast between the two is stark, David and Goliath, except this David carries no weapon, no armor, no formal stance to speak of. Michael smiles slightly, confident. This will be easy, he thinks. He expected some older, credentialed kung fu master, not this small, calm, unassuming man from the audience. "You sure about this?" Michael asks, trying to seem generous, to give Bruce a way out. Bruce meets his gaze evenly. "I'm sure." Ed Parker steps forward to address the audience, ensuring everyone understands the unprecedented nature of what is about to unfold. "Gentlemen," he says, projecting over the microphone, "for those who do not know, this is Bruce Lee, martial arts instructor from Los Angeles. He teaches Wing Chun and his own system, Jeet Kune Do. He's also an actor, played Kato on the Green Hornet television series. Some spectators nod, recognition dawning. Others remain skeptical. Movie actor, martial arts performer. Perhaps this will be another demonstration of flashy techniques, carefully choreographed for cameras. Michael's expression hardens, masking his curiosity with the expectation of an easy display. He positions himself in a deep textbook Shotokan stance, Zenitsu Dachi. Weight forward, fists ready. Every movement is precise, controlled, predictable. Bruce stands naturally, feet shoulder-width apart, weight centered, hands relaxed, mobile, alive. To the untrained eye, it looks casual. To the trained karate practitioners watching, it looks unprepared. But there is calm in that apparent simplicity, a quiet confidence that the champion cannot yet see. The arena holds its collective breath. This is about to begin. The arena held its breath. 500 spectators, some martial artists, some families, some students, all leaned forward as Michael Chen advanced. Every step measured, deliberate. Zenitsu Dachi, deep stance, fists chambered, eyes locked on the man who had accepted his challenge. The small figure of Bruce Lee remained calm, centered, weight balanced naturally, hands relaxed but alive. The first strike came from Michael. A textbook Oizuki punch aimed dead center at Bruce's chest. The movement was perfect, linear, textbook Shotokan. The air snapped as the punch extended. Bruce had already moved, just a fraction, a subtle shift offline, and the fist met nothing. Michael's eyebrows furrowed, but his pride would not allow pause. Next, a front kick, a Mei Jerry aimed to crush the midsection. Bruce stepped slightly aside, letting the leg pass. No block, no overcommitment, minimal motion. The kick landed only in the air. The audience leaned closer, murmuring in confusion. Michael's perfect techniques, fast, precise, powerful, failed to touch the small man before him. Michael pressed harder. Rapid-fire punches, linear combinations, elbows, roundhouses. His style was textbook, flawless, unstoppable in competition. But Bruce moved like liquid. He anticipated each weight shift, each chamber, each telegraph of intent. Slight sidesteps, subtle pivots, minimal adjustments. He was everywhere Michael expected him to be, yet nowhere the strikes would land. The contrast was clear. Michael's style, linear, powerful, rigidly structured. Bruce's style, economy, efficiency, constant adjustment, minimal wasted motion. Every karate strike, when delivered as practiced, carried authority. but Bruce neutralized each one with seemingly no effort. The audience realized they were watching a confrontation not of style, but of principle. Movement versus anticipation, force versus precision, tradition versus adaptation. Michael escalated, a flurry of strikes, punches snapping, kicks rotating, combinations he had honed over 5 undefeated years, 47 consecutive victories. His body moved perfectly, his technique textbook. Yet Bruce flowed through, redirecting, slipping, evading, never retreating, never defensive in appearance. Just precise, minimal contact, enough to control each strike's trajectory. The arena was mesmerized. Every karate practitioner recognized the impossibility, flawless technique rendered ineffective. Every strike counted in isolation, yet none landed. Bruce was alive in motion, reading intent rather than reacting blindly. The audience's disbelief grew as the champion, powerful and confident, struggled to find his target. Then came the final decisive moment. Michael launched a high roundhouse kick, aimed at Bruce's head. He committed fully, intending to prove dominance once and for all. Bruce stepped forward, closing the distance with perfect timing. His left hand intercepted Michael's kicking leg at the knee, controlling the power, redirecting it slightly, just enough. His right hand shot forward, stopping an inch from Michael's throat. The contact with air alone was enough. Bruce had controlled the champion completely. Michael froze, breath-catching, balance compromised, realization dawning. The arena fell silent. Even the slightest exhale seemed amplified in the stunned auditorium. No words, no commentary, just visual dominance. Every spectator, martial artist or not, understood Bruce Lee had rewritten the rules of respect in that 8-minute sequence. 3 seconds passed, long enough for Michael to feel the weight of it, long enough for everyone to process the impossibility. Then Bruce released, stepping back, giving the champion space. Michael stood, breathing hard, drenched in sweat, ego shattered but body intact. The silence lingered, profound and absolute. No applause. Not yet. Just the collective awe of witnesses who had seen something extraordinary. Michael's pride had been challenged, his undefeated streak, his confidence, his identity, all confronted by a man 75 pounds lighter, 5 inches shorter, without a formal rank, without a uniform. And yet, total control. The visual lesson was clear. Dominance is not in size, weight, or conventional power. It is in timing, precision, and understanding the flow of movement. The audience remained frozen, captivated, unable to speak. 500 people, 12 who recognized him, 1 who had taught, and 1 whose life and assumptions about martial arts would never be the same. 8 minutes. That was all it took to rewrite respect in the Long Beach arena. The 8-minute spectacle had ended, but the air in the Long Beach arena remained electric. Spectators, martial artists, and competitors alike sat in stunned silence, processing what they had just witnessed. Bruce Lee stepped back, relaxed his stance, and allowed the weight of the demonstration to settle in the room. The lesson had been delivered without a single shout, without a single word, and yet everyone felt it. Mr. Ed Parker took the microphone, acknowledging the magnitude of what had just occurred. "Gentlemen," he said, "that was an extraordinary demonstration. Both competitors, please give a round of applause." The arena erupted, not polite applause, but genuine amazement. The audience understood they had witnessed something beyond competition. Bruce addressed the spectators calmly. His voice was measured, soft but clear, carrying authority without arrogance. He began to explain the core principles behind his movements. Wing Chun, the short-range efficiency, the economy of motion, the centerline theory. How sensitivity, sticking hands, and reflex training created a responsiveness far beyond rigid form. Every strike Michael had launched was met not by brute force, but by understanding, by anticipation, by timing. Then came the philosophy of Jeet Kune Do. Bruce spoke of adaptability, of flowing without restriction, of using no way as way and having no limitation as limitation. It was not about disrespecting karate, he emphasized that repeatedly, but about understanding the principles behind effective combat. Techniques are only as valuable as their application in real situations.
The audience was caught in cognitive dissonance. Years of training, discipline, and established beliefs
collided with what they had just seen. Tournament-perfect techniques, immaculate form, and raw power had failed to touch a small, unassuming man. It contradicted everything they had been taught. And yet, the evidence could not be denied. Michael Chen, still on stage, listened intently. Sweat dripped down his face, not from exertion alone, but from the realization of what he had witnessed. Arrogance had been replaced by humility, curiosity, and the first sparks of understanding. Even a champion could be a student. Bruce continued, guiding the audience through the reasoning behind the demonstration. Every movement, every shift, every minor adjustment had a purpose, not performance, not theatrics, practicality, function, reality. He had shown them what it meant to be adaptable, to flow, to be like water, strong yet flexible, formless yet controlled. As he concluded, a hushed respect spread through the room. Some faces were still skeptical, some incredulous, but many were inspired. The moment had transcended ego, competition, and style. It had revealed a new possibility, an evolution of understanding in martial arts. In that silence, in that awe, the audience realized what they had witnessed was more than a victory or a loss. It was a revolution. Evening had fallen over Long Beach. The arena was nearly empty, the hum of fluorescent lights fading as custodians began to tidy the mats and chairs. Michael Chen approached Bruce Lee in the parking lot, his uniform now damp with sweat, pride tempered by the lessons of the day. "Mr. Lee," Michael said, voice steady but quieter than the roar of the crowd had been. "Can we talk?" Bruce studied him, calm as ever. Michael continued, seated on the hood of Bruce's car, the tension of defeat lingering in his posture. "I've been thinking about what you showed today. About being fluid, about adapting, about understanding beyond the form. I want to learn. Can you teach me?" Bruce's gaze measured, seeing sincerity, humility, and potential. "Your karate is solid," he said slowly. "Your foundation is excellent. But to fight effectively, to truly understand, you need to expand beyond style, beyond tradition. Are you willing to start over?" Michael nodded. "I am." For the next 2 years, every Saturday morning, he trained at Bruce's school in Los Angeles. Wing Chun principles, Jeet Kune Do philosophy, economy of motion, centerline theory, sensitivity drills. Bruce's lessons were exacting, relentless, and adaptive. Michael learned to unlearn limitations he had not even realized he carried from classical karate. His movement became less predictable, more responsive, more efficient. Techniques were no longer simply forms, they became tools, applied with purpose, adapted to his body, his reach, his timing. Competition continued, but Michael fought differently, fluidly, with awareness, with adaptability. His victories were no less impressive, yet his approach had transformed. The once arrogant champion had become a perpetual student, always learning, always evolving. March 20th, 1969, the day in Long Beach Arena, remained legendary. Not for the championship title or the podium, not for the white gi or the perfect stances, but for 8 minutes, a small man from the audience, unassuming and quiet, had challenged everything Michael knew, had rewritten the rules of respect, and had sparked a transformation. Word spread through the martial arts community. Some dismissed it, some debated it, but those who witnessed it knew the truth. The champion had become a student. Tradition had met innovation. Ego had met humility. A lesson had been learned, not from tournaments, not from accolades, but from observation, control, and mastery. Michael Chen carried that lesson forward for the rest of his life. In his dojo, he shared it with students. Respect for technique, yes, but above all, respect for principle, adaptability, and the unseen. He spoke of the day Bruce Lee stepped out of row 14 and changed martial arts forever. A day when dominance was redefined, when the true measure of a fighter went beyond weight, height, or victories. March 20th, 1969. Long Beach Arena. 8 minutes. One champion humbled, one teacher revealed, and hundreds of witnesses forever changed.